It's good to have you join us again on another edition of the show. I have the confidence to tell you that it's going to be another wonderful, a bomb. One going to have a good time together discussing and importantly reveal who my guest is because I can see him smiling already and I love that. I want to see that. I mean, it tells you that something big is about to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about sports psychology today and how it helps in boosting performance. Sports psychology, relevance in boosting performance right here. I am your regular host. Kunle Pelemo is my name. They call me KP, and you know how we say it whenever I'm here with you. KP in the building. And today I have in the building with me none other but my friend, brother, all the way from India. We have the pleasure of having Gagandeep Singh. Before I allow him to speak, I just have a very brief bio about his bio is huge, but I'm going to let out a little bit about him. Who is Gagandeep Singh? He is the founder of LO Excellence Consulting. He is a sport and performance psychologist, a behavioral trainer, and a certified professional coach. He helps organizations, athletes, and students reach their peak performance level through mental skills. His expertise lies in conducting behavioral programs that use scientifically researched tools to boost performance at workplace and in life. His credentials include a master's in sports psychology, an MBA in HR, a bachelor's in engineering, and a 7 year plus of experience within the corporate world. Yeah, he has done a lot and he has done it all. Yeah, and so that tells you who we have in the studio. Like I said, he's a psychologist and a life coach who has assisted hundreds of individuals across all 6 continents, be it CEOs, national level athletes, doctors, and entrepreneurs, working with a highly diverse awareness around diversity and culture. He's passionate about mental health, and his ultimate goal is to implement mental health programs across the world, especially for the underprivileged.
Thank you, KP. That was such. Am I audible, KP?
Oh God. How are you doing, G? Good to have you.
Hi, KP. Good evening. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are now.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was such a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much for having me. How's your day going?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, to start with, let me just let's hit the ground running straight. Let me ask the first question: what is sports psychology? Because we want to look at the relevance in boosting performance, but first and foremost, we need to know what it is. So, what is sports psychology?
Sure. Thank you, KP, for having me. Super grateful and thrilled to be here. So, sports psychology, in simple words, is the branch of psychology that utilizes scientific research-based mental skills to enhance performance. It focuses on how we can use our mind to enhance productivity in life. So if we talk about sports, at an international level, most athletes have pretty much the same physical fitness. What distinguishes a champion athlete from others is their ability to manage the mind And that's one of the things that sports psychology focuses on. The other aspect is of mental health and well-being. Because with social media and live telecasts of even the university level matches being, constantly being scrutinized and being judged by people, and there is so much focus on winning, players are expected to perform every single week. So on one week they may be in top form, and in the next week they may be playing poorly. So an athlete's mind is an emotional roller coaster. And the objective of sports psychologists is to manage that roller coaster of a ride for them.
Wow, that's so wonderful. That's so wonderful. That's so wonderful. I mean, just like you said about players having, deep in performance sometimes, based on several reasons. Some of them, it might be because they had personal issues, and like I know our performances on different days, on different occasions, it's not a straight line. There are times it goes down, there are times it comes up, and some of us who are fans to some of these players will say, "Ooh, this person didn't do well today. Why?" And there must be something that is connected to how they too now as a player can bounce back from whatever dip they're having and get the best. And that will lead me to the next question that I'm asking now. I want you to let us know if sports psychology is only relevant in sport, or we can transfer the relevance into other areas of life, into other aspects of life.
Very, very interesting question, KP. For that, I'll walk you quickly through the history of sports psychology, because it's very, very interesting and fascinating. So it all started in early 1900s, when scientists started researching about ways to enhance performance among the soldiers in the military, because there were so many wars happening. They wanted to have an edge in military. So they started doing some research on the neuroscience of performance, and they developed techniques and tools for enhancing motivation, managing stress, concentration, communication during very high pressure situations. So these tools that they developed were so powerful and effective that they decided to use them outside of military in other high performance arenas, especially sports. And this is where the science became very popular, and hence it got its name as sports psychology. But now it's being used everywhere, in offices, in performing arts, even in relationships, they're using it.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. A little bit of history right there of how sports psychology came to be. Now, we are going to launch into how to now make use of this in the various fields, that's other various fields other than sports. And as also life issues, how we can apply that. But before then, we are going to take a breather. Let's take a musical break. When we come back, Gagandeep Singh, my friend, I call him G, is in the studio with me, and is going to do that right after this musical break. Stay with us. Don't go nowhere.
Yeah, whole feels. All 3 beats. I can't live without you. I can't do without you. Bí mo ṣe ń lọ máa bá mi lọ, bí mo ṣe ń lọ máa bá mi lọ, bí mo ṣe ń lọ máa bá mi lọ, bí mo ṣe ń lọ máa. Anywhere I go, 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 please follow me, go. Hey. Anywhere I go, 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 don't leave me alone, my love. Anywhere I go, 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 please follow me, go. Hey. Anywhere I go, 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 don't leave me alone, my love. Anywhere I go, 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 please follow me, go. Hey. Anywhere I go, 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 don't leave me alone, my love. Anywhere I go, my pariwo. I let the world know you. Mama like go because you came and set me free. I'm free indeed. On solid rock, that's where I'm standing. If no beef for your word in my life, what would I've been saying right now? Now, no more struggling, no more hustling, no more wrestling, new mentality. I can't live without you. Oh, hey. I can't do without you. Yeah, I cannot breathe without you, Lord. Oh, hey. I can't go without your word. Hey. Anywhere I go, 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 go. Please follow me, go. Please follow me, go. Anywhere I go, 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 go. Don't leave me alone. Anywhere I go, 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 go.
Don't touch the dial.
You heard that, don't you? Don't touch the dial. MZ Radio London, AP Radio UK, MHAASP Show with KP running live right now. If you have somebody who is not listening yet, just go tell that person that the show is on. And we have none other but an international sports psychologist right in the building with me. Gagandeep Singh, all the way from India, has joined me, and he's been shedding a whole lot of light on what sports psychology is. And right now, we're about to know how we can apply it in other fields and even in life issues. Gagandeep.
Oh yeah, thank you, KP. I think it's a very, very relevant question. And if I were to tell you that a lot of forward-minded companies these days are actually hiring sports psychologists full-time for increasing employee productivity, especially companies like Google and Deloitte. They have recognized the mental side of performance, and now they are hiring sports psychologists just to stay ahead of their competitors. So that's one forward-looking trend that you'll see as time goes on. So there are many areas that, we can use sports psychology concepts. For example, it can be managing stress, setting goals, increasing focus and concentration, improving motivation. And we can talk about a couple here, a couple of interesting ones. So for example, let's talk about goal setting. So in sports, we know that no matter what an athlete does, the outcome of a match is never truly under their control. So if I am an athlete, if one of my teammates makes a mistake, or let's say a referee gives a wrong decision, or let's say an opposition player may foul me, or I get injured. Now, none of these things are actually under my control, but yet they can influence the outcome. The same is true for life as well. So if my client is a sales executive who's working for a company, who's in the sales department, and they are going for a sales call, let's say. So whether or not they will get the contract, or whether or not the client will like them or not, or whether or not the client would be in a good mood, or let's say the client liked their product, but whether or not it fits in their budget. Now, these things clearly dictate the outcome, but they are completely beyond that person's control, right? So as a sports psychologist, what I would do is I would sit with that sales executive and help them set process-based goals, which are things that are under our control and increase the probability of success. For example, let's say just before meeting the client, has the executive done research about the client or not? Or have they practiced the sales pitch? Or whether they've worked on their communication skills or not? Or just before the meeting, have they done some breathing exercises or practiced some positive affirmations or not, just to calm themselves down? Now, if these goals are met, these process goals are met, the chances of converting the sales call become very, very high. So this is something that's one framework in sports psychology, which we call controlling the controllables. We create goals based on the things that we can actually control. And we can implement this framework in any aspect of life. So we can also implement it around, let's say, the coronavirus pandemic. So whether we get the infection or not is beyond our control. But getting vaccinated, washing our hands, eating healthy, sleeping on time, these are things that are completely under our control. So we can create our goals based on these processes and improve our chances of success. So that's one framework that we use for enhancing productivity in life. There's another one. If you want to learn, there's something called routine, and it's super awesome, super new. And in sports psychology, if you follow tennis or if you follow basketball, you may have seen that just before serving, a tennis player ties their shoelaces every single time, or a baseball player adjusts their gloves continuously every time they go onto the pitch. They adjust their gloves. Or during a free throw during basketball, an athlete closes their eyes and chants something positive. So this is a pre-performance routine that helps our mind stay focused. And the reason we need all of these things is because biologically, our mind is constantly distracted. In fact, our mind is scanning the environment 4 to 5 times every single second. And this is an evolutionary adaptation that, helped us scan the environment continuously. And it helped us survive during the jungles when we were evolving. But now it's a complete distraction. So by using breathing techniques or by using routines, we can calm our distracted brain and focus our attention on one thing at a time. So these routines can also be applied in our daily life. For example, if a person has a big presentation coming up, they can practice some positive affirmations just before the presentation. They can have some mantras. They can sit in the grass for 10 minutes. They can do some deep breathing exercises. So as a sports psychologist, we create these interventions so that people can be their best self during high pressure situations.
Wow, you can't say more correctly than that. I mean, highly expository. And the way you were saying it, I can really relate a lot because I follow sports so well, most especially football. I mean soccer right now, because to an American, football means something else. So I know how it helps. As a matter of fact, some of those things, I mean, for example, now when there is a stalemate in a match that needed a winner, then there will be a period where there will be penalty that will be taken. Most importantly, I've heard that at that moment, it is the psychologist that takes over. It doesn't mean whether you are the best player or you know how to do it well. If you are not psychologically ready, I think there are things that they will ask them to know whether you are even ready to take the penalty, so that you will not make any mistake or you will not do something that will harm the team. So I mean, what you're saying, resonates so well with what I have learned also, and what we used to see even in our daily living. Now, I'm going to ask you now to tell people, some of the things you do, and
Station on the Hill, MZ Radio London.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back. I mean, sorry about the break in transmission. It was due to a little glitch that we just experienced. Now, so G, I'm going to ask you to tell all our listening audience now what you do. I've read your bio. So that's just a way of us letting our guests come in contact with our audience in one way or the other, and then vice versa, our audience coming in contact with our guests? What are those things that you want to explain that you do? And then after that, then you're going to tell us how you can be reached. I mean, maybe your social media handles, your website, or something like that.
Sure, KP. Yeah. So my company's name is Hello Excellence Consulting, and currently I'm working with organizations, businesses, athletes, and students, helping them reach their peak potential. So like you mentioned, I have a background in engineering, business, psychology. Plus, I love personally exploring spirituality. So my forte is to connect all of these paradigms, like business, modern psychology, ancient wisdom, and technology-based learning tools, to bring a very holistic learning experience for my clients. So we offer sports psychology-based behavioral workshops on emotional intelligence, communication, teamwork, motivation, goal setting. Then we also offer coaching programs, employee engagement initiatives, leadership development programs, and employee assistance and wellness programs through our company. Some of my clients are big corporations. Some of them are CEOs of the organizations. Some are national level athletes. Some are doctors. And a lot of them are common people like you and me who want to enhance productivity using scientific methods. So you can visit us directly at www.helloexcellence.com, or directly email me at gagandeep@helloexcellence.com. And Hello Excellence also has its Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn pages. So if you're using those platforms, we are also there.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I'm sure with what people have heard on the show, they know the relevance of sports psychology in boosting their performance, either in the corporate world or also in the life issues generally, just as you said. It's been a wonderful thing having you on the show, and I'm sure this is not going to be the last time. One of these days we'll still bump at you and say, yeah, G, we want you on the show. Let's come and have another insightful moment together. On behalf of everybody on the radio, MZ Radio London and AP Radio UK, we say thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you so much, Katie, for inviting me. I'm super grateful to you for having me here. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And I'm looking forward to more such sessions where we can help people improve their mental health and improve performance, and prevent more suicide. So really, really excited for this collaboration and looking forward to more such sessions.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. And everybody out there, I mean, how time flies. Before you know it, it's over on the show. But like I do say, before you know it again, it's another Friday, and we will be back one more time. On behalf of my producers on MZ Radio London, that's Mr. Soji Amani, and on AP Radio UK, all fields, I want to say thank you. Like I do say, we